Today, we're going to be talking about why systems are the key to sustainable marketing. I think most of us make the mistake of confusing motion with momentum. And when we're hustling or posting, we feel productive, but it's actually not giving us the momentum we need because we are being reactive. So today, we're going to teach you how to trade the hamster wheel of marketing for something that creates calm, clarity, and hopefully a lot of consistent revenue in your business.
If you are new here, this is the Deeply Rooted Business Podcast, and I am Rachel, your marketing ecosystem advocate. And I'm here with Jess, our systems guru, architect of all things genius here. Welcome to the podcast.
I think that marketing is one of those pieces of my business, at least for me, that like I carry a lot of guilt around it. Or if I'm not doing it consistently, I'm like, oh, you're so lazy, or you're FOMO, or like I need to like throw my phone away because I'll like get on Instagram during my lunch break and I'll see all these people posting content or like I'll get in my email and get emails from people. And if I didn't do that week, I just feel like I'm the worst entrepreneur ever. Do you ever? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's me, literally like in a platform that I know is going to work for me. And I just feel so avoidant to doing it. I 100% guilt myself, shame myself, all of the things. And I think that one of the most important things to remember is that like typically content burnout isn't because you're not creative enough or you're not filled with ideas, filled to the brim with ideas. It's purely because there's not a system or a flow or some type of sustainable support that can help you balance the need for being essentially a content creator in the business world, but also balancing client work, all of the other things that come with running a business.
I mean, I know we talk about systems all the time, and systems are something that you're constantly having to refine as your business grows and evolves. You're going to break your systems over and over again. So that's why you can go on like this stint of producing content really consistently. And then all of a sudden you get busier than you used to be. And you're like, oh, system broke. I'm not doing content anymore. And you kind of have to just go back and revisit your systems over and over again. But chances are, if you're not completing something in your business, it's because you haven't built or haven't upgraded that system to support it.
Let me add one thing to that, because I think that this is really important too, is that when people are educating themselves on how to create content, a lot of it of the online space is one particular way. It doesn't help you with the pivots of saying, I'm in push season, I need to push sales right now, or I'm in a pull season and I need to just like maintain awareness. All of the like messaging out there and the content gurus really teach you like a single system or a single strategy that really says like educate, transform, sell, like those types of things. But it really doesn't help you if you're like, this week I need to do this and this is my particular business goal. How do I achieve it, kind of thing?
Yeah. And I think with marketing too, there's different layers of your marketing system. So there's so many things that kind of like come under that marketing umbrella, whether it be attracting new leads in, nurturing leads, actually selling leads. All of those little things come into your marketing system. And it's difficult because you have to develop a system for each of those to kind of keep your business humming along consistently.
Totally.
I think one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is like your systems also need to be like complicated, and systems can be super, super simple. So recently I've hopped back on the content creation bandwagon and started creating content pretty consistently again. And it's basically just a simple system where I started setting aside 2 hours on Monday before I get distracted by client work to just work on content for my business.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at like what Jess is doing, it's incredible. Like if you don't read her newsletter, go sign up, because I'm obsessed. Even though most of it is about our episodes and like things that I'm like very much in the loop on, I like sit there and I love just reading the cadence of it. And that's what I teach when I teach my clients, like what their newsletter strategy is or whatever that looks like for them. It's finding what that like framework, what that formula is, and then just creating a way to streamline it in your business. And it's essentially just not recreating the wheel or starting from scratch every single week. Because I think that that's where people get burned out, is when they sit down and they look at a blank piece of paper and they're just like, what now? It's like you need to be starting at 80% every single week so that when you get to 80%, you can optimize, refine, like reiterate kind of things versus sitting down every Monday and being like, this is daunting.
Yeah, yeah, and I think even with AI, like I did a talk this week to dietitians about using AI in their business, and one of the points I brought up is like AI is great. It can help you create a lot of things really quickly, but just like social media, it can be a lot of noise and distraction if you're not using it strategically within a system. So you could create a bunch of content. Is that content going to move you closer to your business goals? Is that content actually going to resonate with your audience that week? No. So you have to be very, very strategic. And that's where what my talk was focused on them about was creating systems for using AI within their business or how to integrate AI into their systems so that you're not just like opening another tab and having like, I am guilty of this too, but like having like 80 million chats with ChatGPT. So like, how do we start to systemize how we're using AI, this tool in our business so that it's not becoming another distraction, it's not becoming noise. And one of those things where like, okay, figure out like step by step what you're going to do, where you're going to integrate that AI, block off time in your calendar, come up with a weekly rhythm of like, I'm going to use AI to craft my newsletter this hour. I'm going to use AI to answer client emails this hour so that you're not kind of just like using it like all willy nilly, because then it becomes just another stress distraction. And then how can you take those prompts that you're crafting or those conversations that you're having with AI? And like my favorite thing is after I get it to give me what I wanted out of this conversation, I'm like, okay, how could I have prompted you in the beginning of this conversation to give you this? And then I take it and I stick it into my Notion prompt AI prompt library so that the next time I'm not having to start and recreate the wheel every single time. So that's kind of like systems do not have to be very complicated. You don't have to have a bunch of software. You just kind of have to have like a step by step weekly rhythm of how you're going to use it and then a way that you can iterate and refine that system over and over and over.
Yeah, one thing robots can't do is hold you accountable. That's something I haven't quite figured out yet, which, what's funny is that I was thinking about the other day. Do you remember those like watches or those like Fitbit type looking things that like you would set a specific goal and if you didn't do it, it would zap you? Do you remember that?
No, no, but I can remember and this is maybe like worker, I don't know if we say this is worker abuse. Like we did something where sales, like when we were in sale when I was in my sales position, and it was like we would have a rubber band on our arm, and if we did something like we weren't supposed to do, we'd like pop ourselves with the rubber band. So then when we like kind of like the
Oh my gosh. No, I think I saw this thing on like Shark Tank or something. Like it's a legit like electrifying like thing to like do, but like that's one of the things that like you can have the most perfect system, but if you don't respect your time block on your calendar and you don't actually get it done, I don't know, we're going to send you a little zapper zapper bracelet.
I think it's such a common problem. Like I've worked with a lot of clients who are like, oh yeah, I like time block it on myself and then I cancel on myself. So I think it's just just mindset of like, you can't cancel on yourself. Like keeping that promise to yourself, just like you would keep it to your client, the only way that you're going to grow. And then two, if you can layer in like an external accountability. So a lot of times with my clients, if because I do these like one-off, I guess momentum. I don't even know what it's called, but basically I have clients that I meet with like every 2 weeks and we'll get a bunch of stuff done, but they'll always have homework. And then sometimes we will meet and they've done zero of their homework. So it's like, okay, how can I help hold you accountable to this? And like in Notion, you can set a reminder where you'll get like a notification. So if I send it to me and her, I can like check in and be like, hey, did you happen to create that newsletter that we talked about or whatever? But I think having that accountability to keep your promise to yourself is super important.
Yeah, I think treat it like you would a paying client because at the end of the day, it's going to be giving you paying clients.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's that, and you have to like learn yourself too. So with me, like I tried this like blocking off on my calendar before, but I was doing it on Friday, and then by Friday, I do not have the willpower.
No, I want to be outside.
Yeah, right. After Rachel and I record on Friday, and the only reason I probably consistently show up is because Rachel and Steve are too waiting for me. But after record, I'm like out on Friday. So I noticed like my plan was, oh, me and Rachel are going to record and then I'll go for 2 hours and create my content. And that just was not happening. And so I'm like, well, why isn't this not happening? It's like, it's Friday. Like you have zero willpower to work on your business. So on Monday, and like usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me is like not a good time either because I've got clients messaging me and I was like, okay, if I really want to promise myself like I'm going to get this done, Monday afternoons is kind of because that gives me like Monday morning to check in on my clients to kind of like get going. But that like 1 to 3 o'clock time on a Monday has been like the sweet spot for me for being able to create this content consistently. I also like have blocked off the first hour of every day to kind of like do stuff for my business too, because at the end of the day, if I give all my brain power to my clients, then like I don't have anything left for me because I know that if I'm going to cancel on somebody, it's going to be me, not my clients, which I guess is a good thing, but also a bad thing as well.
Yeah. Well, and so I think like really coming into life first businesses, which is essentially what these systems help you do at this point in my life and the stage of my business that I'm at, like my business is here to support me living my best life, which is why Jess and I do summer Fridays and do all of this stuff. And having the ability to kind of like sit down, crank out some quality content, get it scheduled, and like live my best life is truly, I would say it used to be a dream because I had been stuck in that batching, how many pieces of content can I get out kind of thing, versus living super, super intentionally and saying, these 2 posts or 3, 4, 5 posts are going to be the most impactful for my business versus me trying to crank out like 25 pieces of content for the week kind of thing. So the dream of it, like being something for your business to obtain is like something that Jess and I have designed to be a true reality in our business so that we can live life first.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, really focusing on quality over quantity. So we're not out here posting 7 days a week on Instagram. We're doing our one podcast episode. We've got our system that breaks that down into like little clips so that we can kind of still show up on Instagram and YouTube and all of those avenues. And then I've got my newsletter, which is highly systemized and like chat GPT out. Like I have a custom GPT that basically on Mondays, all I have to do is like brain dump into it about what I want to share and it will put it into the format that I need. But these are kind of things that it took a lot of like self-awareness to figure out like, oh, why am I not sending my newsletter or why am I not creating like that content and kind of building my systems around that? And that's why I think a lot of the marketing advice that we get out there does not work because it's not built specifically for your business, or a lot of it isn't even built for like tiny teams. Like it's built for bigger entrepreneurs. And it's like, no wonder we're going to burn out as a solo business owner when we're trying to follow advice that's made for like an entire content department.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is something that Jess and I are very, very passionate about, obviously, and we have compiled our entire system to help you get your marketing out the door, scheduled and done in 1 hour in a single place and in a way that's just super strategic and super intentional. And we're kind of giving you access to stealing our strategy, stealing our system, like essentially. I mean, not stealing because we're giving it to you, but we've created this 1 hour content marketing system that is something that both Jess and I use in our own businesses and has helped us prioritize this super life first business and allowed us to kind of embrace the strategic side of having to exist in the content space, but also not making it our whole entire personality. Because like that's not me. I'm a major introvert. You're not going to see me dancing on social media. When I did that, oh my God, it was like very like unaligned with my life.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I was thinking about as we are marketing this product, which obviously we're marketing it, we're telling you all to go buy it. But as we were creating marketing for this product, I was thinking about like what makes this system different or what makes this system us from what we've seen. And I'm like, oh, this is so aligned with us. Like one, it upholds that whole like content marketing ecosystem that we talk about. We're not just telling you how to create Instagram because we know that Instagram content, because we know that's not going to build sustainability in your business. Like, we're telling you how to create pretty much like every piece of content that we really believe you should create, but we're telling you how to create it in like a streamlined way and like a systemized just way that's going to be able to like help you crank it out in no time. And so while still like using AI in a way that is very to our voice. So anyway, that was like my reflective as I was like reflecting after this 1 week of selling this product of like, how can we do better? Like, how can I explain better what the system is? So just a reminder, you are always doing enough in your business, but unfortunately content is part of this game. That's how our clients find us. So it's really important to, take that time to self-reflect. Why are you not, if you know that one of your goals is to put out marketing content consistently and it's not happening, why is it not happening? Are you not blocking off the space? So you starting from scratch every time? Kind of just take the time this weekend to identify that problem and then make one shift to make it work for you.
I think ultimately too is like get no cookie, you get no prize if you write all of your content by yourself. You get no cookie, no prize, no trophy if you create 100 pieces of content for the month by yourself. So in business, like accept the system that's going to support you and give you 7 hours a week back in your life kind of thing, or even if it's just 5 hours, like whatever that looks like for you, like embrace the system is my mantra for how I can systemize and like really simplify my own life, because you can't do it all, especially if you're really trying to enjoy the personal life of, I have a baby right now that was is requiring my entire life. I don't have the capacity to sit down and be like, I need to put an hour of, silent, what is it? White noise headphones on and crank this out. So let the system embrace you and meet you where you are at in your life, and don't feel ashamed that you're using AI to help you, because you can do it the right way and not in a weird robotic way that doesn't sound like you.
Yep. All right. So if this episode hit home or was helpful, make sure that you share it with one of your business besties. Make sure you're following the show. Drop a review. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just want to chat it up, want to talk more about systems, want to nerd out about marketing, you can find us at Deeply Rooted Business on Instagram. And until next week,
We're rooting for
or
you.